Blog Talk Radio.
Please take all the necessary precautions to protect your Constitution while listening to this broadcast. 3, 2, 1. Coming to you live via the internet. It's time for Rage Against the Regime. Let's get ready to rumble! Finally, a show for patriots, defending the Constitution and uncovering the truth at every turn. Bringing you exclusive interviews and covering the topics the mainstream media doesn't dare to touch. Call in and join the discussion at 929-477-3565. That's 929-477-3565. And now, here are your hosts, Bobby Who's the Man and Becky Williams. Rage Against the Regime.
I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes, I am, yes, I am, yes, I am. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man.
Welcome to Rage Against the Regime podcast. I am your host, Becky Williams, and we are waiting for Mr. Ritter to come on. I have a little bit of a technical issue, but I am with you. I do believe we have Wilbur on the line. Wilbur, is that you?
It is, Becky. Welcome, welcome. Good to hear you. Good to hear you.
Hey, brother, it's good to talk to you. We had a little breakdown in communication here. I was under the assumption that someone else would be using the board or running the board today. It's my fault. I guess I dropped the ball. I'm trying to run run front for a birthday girl today that I'm trying to get things done with. I got caught out in traffic. Bobby's freaking out. He didn't know what the heck was up. He just sent me a WTF. You got the board up, and I actually did not have it. I'm still out in the public running rainbows and chasing stars. Hey, how are you doing?
Well, I've been hot this week. Have you caught me on the wire? See anything I put out this week?
What, brother?
Hold on. Can you hear me better now?
I can hear you now. How about you, Bobby? Can you hear me? I don't have my headphones in.
Yeah, I was using
I'm here.
Yeah,
well,
what I was saying,
I thought you said you were going to get your wife to pull the show up because I was trying to get everything together for Nat's birthday. So I apologize, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Like I said, I've been ever since the Garland thing and everything. I tried to get off that story several times. I ended up having to get back on it. Jumping on this, jumping on that, and that's what I was going to talk about tonight. We may talk about it before the show's over, but you know how you have everything planned out, and then something will just jump up in your face. I was scanning, looking for topics and everything, and I remember a whole bunch of little discussion groups, especially over in Europe and England, and somebody over there puts up that Jesus smoked pot and he was into homosexual sex. Okay. And normally, I didn't know I even had this belief. I didn't know I had this belief, but I did. It came out. It's been there a long time. Christians, the difference between Christians and Muslims is very simple. Muslims, Muhammad has to have them to kill people who talk about him. Well, Jesus, he's alive. And when I see when somebody says something about Jesus, I sit back and relax because I know one day they're going to have to face him and explain what the heck they said.
Right.
Jesus can take care of himself, and if you're a Catholic, then the first thing you're going to say is what you've been saying about my mama. But this Garland thing has been a big topic. The second it happened, and Michael Beach exception to the event, but the second it happened, I think I was the first one within an hour after it who made a statement. She set a trap, set them up, got them in there, and did what we all knew was going to happen anyway. I keep telling people, do I agree with what happened at that particular time? No, I was wanting to go for Texas independence. I had other things on the stove, but did I agree with that? No, not at that particular time. Do I agree that it was coming anyway? Well, why in the hell do you think these people are in the country anyway? Why were they all geared up to... Yeah, go ahead.
No, and And, you know, Wilbur, Bobby called me today and he asked me, you know, do you know anything? We're trying to vet that the military bases are on DEFCON high alert. And I sent a message out to my security forces, and yes, indeed, we are. Not the public now. They're not worried about us. They're worried about the personnel on the bases. You know, the soldiers are more than capable of taking care of themselves, but they've unleashed these rabid dogs on society. They walk among us. You know, they're gonna take out people. That's what they're gonna do. They're not going to go after the military bases. They may go after the military personnel. They've already said they will in their homes, but I really don't see a threat about them going on to the bases. Now, what the hell is that? Really? You're going to secure the bases, secure the soldiers, and you don't give a shit about the citizens. That's why our border's wide open. That's why they're shipping in here by the thousands daily on freaking airplanes, you know?
Well, they're saying the reason why they did it, they said they did it for a change of pace. They're not doing it for any particular reason. Now, that's one source. The second source says that there is an imminent threat. ISIS has made supposed threats, and that, of course, they're not, they didn't say that they're going to go after any bases. What they said is they're going after certain groups of people. They want to go after police officers, military members, so on and so forth. But we all know they're not going to go to a military outlet, you know, and try to go on a base or anything like that, not unless they want to commit suicide.
They don't need to during our service. Hey, did you forget about Hood, Fort Hood? They don't need, you know, DEFCON lockdown, really? These dumb sons of bitches are in our military. Seriously. I mean, the dog didn't have to break in or breach security. The son of a bitch was an officer at Fort Hood. They're already there. They're inside.
It's and that's something I pointed out too, Becky. And I did 3 very serious articles, and what I basically said was, they're going to hit us again. Get ready. I don't care what your stance is on the Second Amendment. Get yourself a gun. You know, they tried to hit Garland and they got slapped. So they're gonna come back hard and heavy. So be ready for it. And I mean, I told them, I said, and we're kind of on the point of the spear. From where I'm at, Fort Hood is 3 miles away. Okay, 3 miles away. We've already been hit by that psychiatrist. We've already been hit. We got soldiers all over town, buying beer and cigarettes tonight. It's payday tonight, and they're all out there partying and everything. And and these guys are all among them, and all. It's very, very dangerous. The one thing, the only bright light is, and Becky and I probably understand, we have a militia here. We do have a militia, and I don't want to get racial this early in the show, but these little son of bitches are easy to pick out. They're really easy to pick out. They open their mouth, damn sure know who they are real quick. And we will get radical, and we will profile, and we'll act like Texans, and CNN will call us animals. Now, did you see the way they jumped on Pamela Geller? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the goddamn picture of Muhammad was actually a good picture. I thought it was a pretty good picture. Right? If I was Muhammad, I'd be kind of proud of that, because it's just, and I've seen this imam from London on Hannity and everything. She knew the death threat was there. If you draw the blessed prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. Okay, screw you, Muhammad, okay? Simple as that. We can't draw a picture of your prophet, but you can say things about our prophet, do anything you want.
They cut some Christians daily, the motherfuckers. And they get bent over a cartoon drawing. Fuck those Muslim motherfuckers.
And but they are coming. And I've been in touch with some militias. I did a private call last night, and I won't name names because it's all secret or anything. But yes, the militias are ready. We are expecting it. We're expecting what's going to happen. And when they hit, it's not going to be no big deal. It's going to be the end of ISIS is what it's going to be. It's going to be the end of every convenience store in the state of Texas. It's going to be the end of every mosque.
Well, they've already named how many cities. They named that they're in like 20 cities, and 5 of the ones that they named, were no-brainers. We already knew they're here in Chicago. We know they're in Michigan. We know that they're in California. We know they're in Texas. whatever. They didn't break any news. Okay,
no,
for one.
You know, Bobby, they named Colleen. They named Colleen.
Yeah, they did.
Well, we know
Colleen, Fort Hood.
Yep.
Go ahead.
We know that they're in all these places. I mean, we're already expecting something to happen in all these places. But let's talk about where the hell it's really coming from. I mean, who got them started again? Our government did. And I'm going to tell you on how many outlets today I was reading, they didn't use the word ISIS. They used the word ISIL again.
What the hell is an ISIL?
L is for Levant.
What is ISIL? Is ISIL like homosexual ISIS? What is it?
L means Levant, many regions.
Oh.
Obama's the first one to call them ISIS. Yeah, you made a valid point there, Bobby.
But the main thing I keep driving home is they are coming. Now, Bobby, one thing, you're up in Chicago. I think you'll understand this. See, Texans have a slightly different attitude, okay? And it's crazy. We want this. We actually, if I ever talk to Pamela Geller, I'm going to tell her, you jumped too soon, but God damn it, you jumped, so here we are. Bring it on. Bring it on. We want them. They bombed Boston, which pissed us off. They killed those people in France, which pissed us off. And we've been sitting out here waiting, please jump on Texas. Please do this. Well, now they're 144 virgins short, and we're waiting for them to hit again.
Well, I guess we'll be finding out soon enough what the hell's going to be happening around here. I mean, that's not the only thing that is like the big news of the week, that's for sure. I mean, we've got tons and tons and tons of news that, was broken this week and stuff that we need to cover. And, it's unbelievable.
Well, it's not conspiracy theories. That's another thing I told people in one of the articles. This is not a conspiracy theory about the New World Order or the Rothschilds and none of that. These guys jumped out of a car with hand grenades in the backpack and 2 AK-47s. And, it's just, hey, you guys, can I take a break and call you right back? I got something coming up here.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
sorry
Bobby,
about the confusion. Huh?
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I'm sorry about the confusion. I mean, I don't know. I didn't even, it wasn't even anything that would have been able to happen today. My mother is actually at my house and stuff, and I wasn't going to ask Denise because she's doing stuff around the house, painting and stuff like that. So, I didn't even attempt to ask her or anything. But
okay.
I thought that we came to that understanding when I talked to you earlier. But either way, we're here. Just so everybody knows, this is going to be a short show today. This is not going to be a show going into after hours. It may not even go until 6 o'clock. Becky has things she has to do tonight. I have stuff that I have to do. And we're going to try to get in as much information as we possibly can. We want to cover things that happened this week. The important news to us, though, was that the military outlets all went on to they raised their security level, which, that's a no-brainer. That's telling us something's going on, and we need to cover that. And so, that's one thing that we feel that we need to cover big time. And, talk about all the stuff about Garland. Pam Geller was on TV on Fox this week, and they brought on that goofball from England, that Muslim from England, and they kind of did a debate. Yeah. They kind of did a debate on TV, and he was saying that if you disrespect, his people and, you draw the Prophet Muhammad and make fun of him and stuff, that should be a reason to kill and this and that. It's like, are you kidding me, man? This is a drawing, okay? It's a picture. And for some people that are supposed to be a peaceful religion, this is their words, not mine, For some people that are supposed to be a peaceful religion, they're not showing how peaceful they are. It's unbelievable.
Well, I'll tell you this much, brother. First of all, let's back up. We had Wendy on the show last week, or was it this week? It was the night we talked about what happened, and when we were talking to Wendy, she said something that I really didn't catch until after the show. She said she had been talking to the school board, the superintendent, and he said for the past 6 weeks he had been diligently working, trying to find loopholes with attorneys so that they could basically pick and choose who can lease that facility. You know what that tells me, brother, is that he was trying to block it. He was trying to keep that from happening. That's why he'd been working diligently, because she also said that she went to the school board with a bunch of other concerned parents. They read scriptures out of the Quran, pointed out that the two speakers that were speaking there were known terrorists, and they still let them do it. They said, well, we can't discriminate based on those facts alone. And so what it told me was that when Wendy said that what actually was taking place is they were trying to find a loophole to keep Pam Geller out. Listen, I got into it with some dickhead named Mike B. I said it, dickhead. I don't know who the guy is. I was in a flash email. God bless Wilbur. He always sends his blogs to me, and I really wasn't paying attention. And I told him to tell the guy to piss off because he made a negative comment saying she put everybody's life in danger, you know, how Manchurian or some shit like that, Machiavellian or that was of her, just to point out that, you know, Islam is a violent cult or whatever. And I said, tell him to piss off and set his liberal retarded ass down. Shut up. Because we don't need patriots attacking Miss Geller. Pam Geller did what she did because she has the right to do it. She's making a valid point, and all the people who participated and showed up at that facility knew well the consequences that could take place, and the police department had been notified for over 2 weeks that these idiots were coming, that they had chatter. They were contacted by the FBI. Now, here's the deal. Miss Geller and her crew went even to the extent of hiring 40 more police officers than were assigned to the security of that facility by the city. And then you got the mayor of and I sent him a little tell-off letter. I'll read it to you if you want to, but I sent him a letter because he started cursing Michelle. You know, Pamela, talking crap and smack about Pamela, offending Islam and all this stuff. And I basically told him, you're spineless embarrassment. You're an idiot. You have no problem with two terrorists coming and setting up camp for the Prophet of Muhammad program that you allowed in the city, and you didn't give two rat's asses about how Christians or parents felt about the situation with them being in the city to preach Sharia law court tribunal, you know, to support and promote Islam. You know, they took the ticket that people purchased away from them and denied them entry. Fox 4 News couldn't get in. Why? What the hell are you talking about in there that you don't want us to know about? The same thing that they talk about in the mosque, I would presume. We've seen imam after imam step up and make radical comments and support the terrorists around the world, and to, try to dominate everybody and talk about Sharia law and screwing 9-year-old little girls, taking them for their wives. What the hell is this country coming to? So I told the mayor off. I sent him a nasty little letter. I didn't use any curse words in it, believe it or not, but I did tell him he was a spineless idiot. He was a spineless embarrassment to society, and that I believe that anybody that holds a public office in a position of power needs to first take a constitutional and a Bill of Rights course, and if they don't pass it, they don't get to hold the seat. That's my opinion. If you don't know the Constitution, you don't know the Bill of Rights and how government works, you don't need to have a position of power. You look at that mayor and what that idiot did up in Baltimore, that bitch should be quartered. And now they're federalizing the police department there, Bobby. bring the feds in to control the police department. Really, you got the DOJ springing for the federalization of the police department across the system. In Texas, we're not going to stand for. You're not going to federalize my police department and get away with it.
Well, you heard Obama come forward and say that Baltimore is going to be the first federalized police department, first state to have a federalized police department. What in the hell? There's no such thing.
Listen, I brought Wilbur on. You guys chat amongst yourself for a minute. Let me wrap some stuff up. Go ahead and talk. I'll be back on. I'm going to leave the board up and watch it for you real quick. Wilbur,
sure, go ahead. Come on, okay. Come on back in, Wilbur.
Bobby, the whole thing, like I said, the nail I've been driving all week. And normally I like to write stuff that I talk about serious subjects, but I try to make it light, to drive home a point, make people kind of ease up a little. There was no light about this week. I've told people in the articles, I'm being blunt. I'm telling you now, this is what's going to happen. We got lucky. We got really lucky. It could have, if they got into that art exhibit with hand grenades and 2 AK-47s, CNN, it would have been all over it. All over it.
We would have been talking about how many people were killed. There's no doubt about it. I mean, last week when we were talking about this last week, I believe it was Monday we did a show and we brought on a woman that was there, okay, and she's from that area and everything else. And we were talking to her about the whole situation, and we got really, really lucky. You know what? It's unfortunate that a security guard got shot in the foot, but you know what? I give it to the Garland Police Department. They were on this like white on rice. Okay? And they were prepared, and they handled this very, very well.
Yeah. The other thing about Texas, too, when they crank this up, the ISIS, whatever they want to call themselves this week, they imagine Texas as being Los Angeles, Chicago, New York. They see Houston and Dallas, and they think that's the way we are. Texas is not like that. It's very rural, very agricultural. It is nothing but a bunch of ranchers, farmers, and wetbacks. Okay, and that's what we really are. So if you want to jump up and you want to play terror games down here, we will hang you. It's as simple as that. We fear and worry about our brothers and sisters in Chicago because you guys are locked in. Y'all are locked in. Everybody's trying to be politically correct. Nobody's listening, all that kind of stuff. We don't.
Oh, yeah, because it's ran by the Democratic machine. This city is ran by the Democratic machine.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Los Angeles, the same way. New York, the same way. Texas, it's almost good that we're on the point of the spear. It's almost good because when they come, we're going to be able to show people this is how bad. Of course, now, after we do this, Obama will send the Justice Department down here, and they'll, we got to look into this. These people had civil rights, and this, we'll go to the extreme. We'll go to the extreme of saying, okay, no more Muslims in Texas. That's it. We're done. No more Muslims in Texas. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, yes, we can. Yes, we can. We just got rid of the Ku Klux Klans, you dumbasses. Okay? And believe me, them boys ain't dead. They're out there somewhere. They're out there. And these people will rise up, and this is what's going to happen. It's what's going to happen. We have militias. We have sheriff's posses still, old-time sheriff's posses. We have people with it. Everybody's got a gun. I don't give a damn.
And you have Chuck Norris.
Yeah. I even line it up a little bit. Peter, one of my friends in London, did send me a joke. He said, so I'm strolling around. I'm going to drop a little small F-bomb here. I'm strolling around the mall the other day in London, and I see this sign that says Muslim bookstore. So I want to know what's in a Muslim bookstore. I walk in. I obviously didn't fit in, so the clerk comes over and says, may I help you? I said, yes, I'm looking for a book, The American Immigration Policy for Muslims. And he goes, yes, that's the one. Do you have it in paperback?
You're crazy. Anybody that doesn't know about Wilbur writes, okay, and he posts daily. For those of you that are not people that like the Rage Against the Regime podcast page or the Rage Against the Regime news page, where we allow everybody to go on there and just post about, news and stuff like that. And, I mean, most of the stuff is not vetted, but, people still post there. On a daily occurrence, Wilbur goes on there and posts things. And, he does it all the time, and very, very entertaining stuff. You guys must go on there and give it a read sometime. Hey, Wilbur, I want to give out the number for people to call in. With the weather changing and everything, the last 2 weeks our numbers have fallen big time. But you know what? With the weather changing and everything, I kind of think that it's just like TV seasons and stuff like that. If you ever notice, they don't really have any big shows going on during the summertime because they don't have people watching the TV. So, it's kind of the same with radio, I guess, because our numbers have dropped dramatically. But I'm going to give out the phone number for anybody that may want to call in, may want to, share some information with us, talk about what we're talking about, pretty much anything, any of the above. The phone number is 929-477-3565. One more time, 929-477-3565. But to get back to what Wilbur talks about, every day, he posts stuff that it's a really, really good read, and it's always a fun-filled story, to say the least, and, a little bit comical and stuff like that, but always something very interesting to read. And, I mean, I got to be kind of honest, I look forward to when you post them every day because I always read them. I feel like I'm reading, like, one of my favorite newspaper articles, per se.
I get up in the morning, Bobby, I get up about 4:30 in the morning. I've got 5 grandkids going to school. They're about to go to Utah, go back to Utah pretty quick, but they get up. I sit on the porch. I have an office, but I sit on the porch with 2 iPads and an iPhone and a laptop. And like I said in my article today, half the time I don't know what I'm going to write about until I start writing. And then I try, as a matter of fact, we kill a little bit of time. Hang on here. Everything, I'll just give you all a little short read here and give them an example of what I write. And then by the time, when you get somebody to call in, let me know. That way, keep your show going. Hold on here. Let's get this going. I rarely do this. This is a treat for everybody. I just put this up. I think you've probably seen it already. I sent it out to the wire services. It says, do you know how hard it is to do a dozen articles a day and not come off like a contradictory fool? I worry about that. I find myself coming over past posts to see if I'm reversing myself in any way. I'm really not politically astute. Not really. When I say I'm a simple old boy from Austin, what I'm really trying to say is I write simply. I can be complex. I just choose not to. I feel that the world is complicated enough without dancing around words and painting myself into a corner. And look at my qualifications. I got a high school diploma from Killeen High School in Texas. Now, folks, that is about as illiterate as you can get, and they still let you drive a car. With my friends and supporters, I do walk a fine line trying to agree and please them. And I have some rules, though. I found that when I write an article, I personally think might be my undoing, those are the ones that hit. And I really do try to avoid being controversial, but let's face it, when you got a pen name like Bill the Butcher, well, people expect things, The more I write, the more I settle on things I believe. Like Doc said about me on the radio last week, there are times when I don't even know my position until I begin to write. I do take inspirations from people I respect and everything. Other opinions, their opinions all differ. For instance, I'm not all torn up about Jade Helm. And I guess that's from living near Fort Hood all my life, putting up with cannon fire and gunships flying over my head all the time. But I worry about ISIS because I know the dynamic that's driving them. And I really do think that the Muslims in our state bear watching. I don't give a flip about gay marriage. I accept gay people. I just don't want them to, marry my sister or anything like that. My neck is not near as red as it used to be. there was a time when I really said and wrote some outlandish stuff, but here's the deal. You sell 3 million records on the black market out of a garage in Hucker Heights, Texas, and then come back and tell me all about it. You know, publishing has changed a lot since 1994. Back then, you had to have distribution. Now all you got to have is an iPad. And being exposed to loads and loads of other opinions has lightened my neck considerably. I can even get along with people from California if she's cute. I study all the time. You may not believe it. But as I was writing all this stuff about Garland this week, I was reading a psychological study of Joseph Smith's mindset in the context of his times. In modern times, he would have just wrote the Book of Mormon and left the inspiration involved to the conjecture of the readers. But in the magical worldview of the 1830s, well, you know, people expect things. Understanding people like Joseph Smith helps me understand politicians and connect those dots, and there is a connection. People love to believe in the absurd. They want magic, hence religion. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a theist. I even believe in Jesus Christ. I just don't believe in religion. Religion is man's feeble attempt to explain the unexplainable. I try not to pick on people's religious beliefs, but as a writer, I know how Muhammad came up with the Quran, and I know how Joseph Smith wrote that Book of Mormon. And, folks, it's not hard to figure out. I even have a nephew who once spent hours trying to convince me that during a seance, Satan, the evil one, the archangel, fallen from glory, the source of all evil, came all the way from hell to beautiful downtown Killeen, Texas, just to throw rocks over a fence at him. I don't try to pick on people's religious beliefs, but it's hard. People read into their religion their own desires. Now, that's okay until you start stoning pretty girls for looking good in jeans and tell me I can't have a martini, and then we got to talk. Well, wait, come to think of it, pretty girls, martinis, and stone. Anyway, I digress. I don't chase women as much as I used to because I got a bad leg that seems to be getting worse with age, and I keep getting away. Also, I found that double amputees don't attract me very much. Well, let me think about that. Sometimes I worry about myself. Anyway, as I blog myself in the literary hell, I want to thank all y'all for listening to me and reading my stuff. Communication is the most important thing. I figured that out after Fight Begs Lives. I keep my style simple, like I said. I write like I speak, and I have a friend who has a double degree in writing and literature, stuff like that. Kid writes for a solid week, ain't said shit. I now have written thousands of articles, and they've gone all over the world, and that's not bad for somebody that failed high school English. You got any callers?
There you go. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Becky's actually watching the board. I'm actually still in my work truck, so. But
it looks like
I know that Bill DiGirolamo may be calling in, and some other people, maybe even Bill Bowe. So maybe.
I wish Pamela Geller would call in. I want to talk to her. I made a comment. I don't know what radio station it was on, but somebody with one of the networks said, they got mad. She should be in handcuffs. Hey, Rao, I came back. I'd like to put Pamela in handcuffs too, but it's a little bit different context. She looks just like one of my ex-wives from Long Island.
So you must. I'm wondering, should I ask?
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure what she looks like.
Well, Pamela Geller is a brunette, very, very nice figure.
No! I know who Geller looks like. I thought you were talking about somebody else. I'm sorry. Yes.
Oh, my
Geller is a very, very attractive woman.
Are you old enough to remember the Raiders of the Lost Ark, the movie?
Oh, of course.
All right. Remember the girl that played the lead?
I'm 46. I'm 46.
Oh, okay. Remember the girl? Remember the girl that played the lead in that movie?
Oh yeah.
All right. My third ex-wife, Mary Ellen Wallman Ruff, looks like her.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Winner chicken dinner. That's for sure.
Oh, she was freakier than both of the clowns. Long Island all the way. Jewish kid.
Oh, that's good.
She was rich. She was rich. Just no bull. She was rich. She was descended from J.P. Morgan.
Well, you know what? My wife hates that people say it, but my wife looks like Britney Spears. Well, she
really?
doesn't so much now, She doesn't so much now, but she used to look a lot like Britney Spears, and she hates when people say that. But it's true. I mean, you gotta call it like it is. So.
Yeah, like I said, Becky pointed out several times. When I say ex-wives, I'm not kidding. I've been in country music over 40 years, and I've got a string of ex-wives. I really do. And none of them were bitter divorces. It was just got tired of my shit, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh man, but that's why I try to keep things light. That's what makes a comedian. When you've had tragedy in your life, you have to have a way to turn it up the other way. You have to be able to look at it, laugh it off, walk away from it. I even made a joke out of this thing in Garland. It was a slight joke, but I said, for all of their Allah, 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 and Allah Akbar, and Akbar, all that kind of crap, they jump out of their damn car and they're ready to rain death and destructions down in Garland, and a 53-year-old motorcycle cop popped them with a pistol. They need to go back to Saudi Arabia and retrain. They really do.
Yeah, Bill DiGirolamo just actually texted me. I think he's going to be calling in a minute.
Good.
Yeah, he was asking if there was any callers, and I said none. And he's like, how could that happen? And I put in big letters, weather.
Yeah.
It's like people just, when the weather's nice, people want to go out, they want to do things, they don't want to sit in the house, and the last thing they want to do is listen to all the tragedies going on in our country and all the bad things and things that we've been talking about forever and ever and ever and don't have an answer and don't have a solution.
Yeah, it's just it really don't get cold down here. I mean, we got people down here that thinks it gets cold, but I've been where it's cold. It really don't get cold. Our winters, we don't see a week without 70 degrees. We don't see a week. In the hardest part of winter, if it snows, the next day it'll be 70 degrees right up there again. So it really don't get cold. But I understand with people like where you're from, because I've been to Long Island. I did live with Mary Ellen for a while. It gets cold, it snows, it gets all bad outside. You do sit around and watch TV and listen to the radio. You do that. Then you have the time to there's nothing else to do. You sit there and you take it in. You converse. You read books and stuff like that. Down here, it's not like that so much. I think that's what's wrong with Texas politics. Is we're kind of outgoing. Nobody we know that the Pink Dome down in Austin is really screwed up, but nobody takes it serious because it's going to be all right and that kind of stuff. And we don't. We're not really locked down like some other places are.
Right. Well, you know what? Let's start covering some other stuff until Becky comes back. Did you hear anything about the plane crash that happened in Georgia? Little small passenger jet that was flying, and I guess right outside of, I can't remember the name of the city, but the airplane crashed and almost hit the highway. I think it was trying to make an emergency landing on the highway, but it didn't make it, and it crashed.
I didn't hear a word about that. Personally, in Georgetown 10 years ago, I was coming out of a McDonald's with my wife then, and we hit the service road, and she said, "Look at that airplane." And I was hung over to the max, Bobby. I was oozing scotch from every pore. And I ain't got no time to look at no damn airplane. So you booed this airplane. And I looked over to my left, and there was a Piper Cub coming straight at me, trying to land on the access road. It had run out of gas, and I pushed the gas pedal and got out of the way. He busted both wheels off and skidded over to the embankment near the McDonald's. But, that's scary when you see it, because you just know he didn't have no gasoline. But you're just waiting. He's going to hit the ground, and he's going to blow up like a bomb, and I'm right here,
Was that a crop duster or a biplane or something?
Oh, it was a single engine, wing on top of the cab, fly 100 miles kind of plane. The guy had run out of gas. He was trying to. He could see the airport, but he just didn't have the lift. So he was trying to. Now, to his credit, he flew under the telephone lines and didn't hit them. He flew under them. And he hit so hard.
That's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good.
He busted the wheels off. You busted the wheels off that damn thing when he hit. and like I say, skidded up by the McDonald's, you know. And the little Texans in there eating Happy Meals, and they're all jumping around laughing about it. But that's Texas, you know.
Well,
we buried my husband-in-law Joe Thursday. By the way, yesterday. You know, I was living down here. Part of what I was doing was taking care of Joe. He had cancer, and he finally died, and everything. We took him down to San Antonio, and they had the military funeral. It was all sad and all that kind of stuff. But the one part I didn't go, but I saw the films, and you know my little granddaughter Puck, right? When they fired the volleys, her hair stuck straight up in the air. So I mean, boom! Boy, and I told my ex when she got back, I said, you know what I was waiting on? By the way, I know Puck. She's about to drop an F-bomb right down the spot. You know, people shooting rifles in there. I took her to a Japanese grill when we met Doc Green and did a deal down in Austin. And as her reward for being a good girl, she got to go to the Japanese grill. You know how the Japanese guy will throw the oil on the grill and then set it on fire?
Sure.
She jumped over the back of the seat and took off running for the front door. He set the place on fire. Goodbye.
Well, you know what? I want to cover some other things here that's
going
on. You know, there's a lot of talk that people are talking about Jade Helm. Now, I want to talk about something that I did this week, and you know, when we did our show on Monday, I was talking about it. You know, a lot of people are saying, now this is coming from the likes of Steve Quayle. Now, I don't know if you know who Steve Quayle is. I would say probably over 75% of our audience know who he is, and he's always with, you know, Hagman and Hagman. He does a lot of shows with them and so on and so forth. And very, very intelligent gentleman that knows a lot of information and shares a lot of information. And what he has stated is that somebody in the United States Air Force that is a high up that happens to be a friend of his has made a statement saying that the reason why all the things are going on right now in this country and why everything is so chaotic and the whole Jade Helm and why they moved NORAD and why they moved what did they move to Chicago from New York? I can't remember. I can't remember what they moved from New York to Chicago. But anyway, what it all boils down to is that they're expecting for something to happen, like a major catastrophe, and I'm talking about the likes of like Yellowstone, or maybe like like an asteroid, or you know, something like that. They're expecting something like that to happen, and that's why they're making all the preparations that they're making, because we would be at our lowest if something like that happened, and we would be easily invaded, because most of our troops would be on the other side of the world and wouldn't be able to make it back. And if a lot of things happened here and a lot of people died and we didn't have security forces here, you know, people from other countries could come over here very easily and take advantage of that. Now, it all made good sense to me, and I covered it, and I'm going to tell you, all the information that I came up with, I mean, it really, really did make sense. Now, why all this stuff going on with Walmart and everything else, I mean, that I can't really put my finger on as of this point. I mean, I know I've come up with a lot of different, different ideas on what it could be. Do I know 100% for sure what it is? No, I don't. But I mean, you know, Steve Quayle did make some good points, and I looked into it a little bit myself and, you know, dwelled quite a bit into it. And, I must say that, it's something to think about. And, I mean, something like that could happen very easily. You know, I mean, a major catastrophe, Yellowstone, I mean, they're talking about it on a daily basis, you know, how it's raising up and, you know, this and that. I mean, what do you think about that whole thing?
Well, like I said, I connect the dots, and the dots sometimes make a lot of sense when you just look at it. an asteroid can always come. And there's always, I don't think a month goes by that there's some groups saying an asteroid's going to hit and it's in the world and all that kind of stuff. I don't think they can. I know Yellowstone is acting up a little and has been, but they can't predict it, okay? What I really think, and Doc doesn't agree with me on this, and a lot of people don't. I don't think that Jade Helm is designed to attack the American people. Now, let's look what we got on the border right now. Look what's going on the border. Look what ISIS said yesterday. We have 70 soldiers in 15 different states. We can attack at any time, blah, blah, blah. Look at the Walmarts being vacated. Okay, now here's the scenario. ISIS makes a major move on the border and throughout cities and states. Okay? You have soldiers in place that can assist in the martial law thing. Oh, my God, martial law. Well, if the bombs start going off, you're going to be glad to see those soldiers, okay? The Walmarts, refugee centers in worst-case scenarios, places people can go to, safe house. That would also cover a Comet or Yellowstone or anything like that. I think that Jade Helm is a clever way to move troops, and the secrecy is what leads me toward the ISIS thing. Not the secrecy, the opening. Yeah, we're moving 3 divisions and all these SEALs, and yeah. Don't worry about it. It's just an exercise. We're not doing anything. Look the other way, ISIS. Don't look over here. Look the other way, while they silently put these troops in place because they know something's coming. They know. Bobby, it could be a mass invasion, and this isn't Alex Jones. This is common sense. They're already flowing over the border. They're already doing that. So they blow up the water plant and electric plant in Houston. They blow up something in Dallas. They hit Chicago. They go into a mall. They make it into an art show, and they kill 50 or 60 people and everything. Then you have the soldiers in place. Then you can stop it and take care of them. And that's my true opinion. Jade Helm is real. It's real. I've talked to some Army officers, too. I'm down here in the Army officer place. And for all of this stuff about, they're purging the military and all that, I don't really think, and I'm not an Obama supporter, but I don't really think he is crazy enough to ask the military to turn their guns on the American people. And if he is, we're going to see the first military overthrow of the government in America's history. Because they're going to take over the government, and then they're going to turn it back over to the civilians. Now, that's my real opinion, and I'm probably wrong, because I'm just an old boy from Texas. But anyway, that's my opinion.
Well, I released a video that was done by Red Ice Creations. Now, I don't know if a lot of people know who Red Ice Creations is. I go there for a lot of my news, and, I think that most of the stuff that they put out is usually pretty good. The information is always vetted, and they do a lot of background, and they try to give you as much information as possible. Now, one thing that they did bring up in a video that I put on the Rage Against the Regime podcast page and on the news page, anybody can go there and look at the video, which I highly recommend. They brought up a lot of good points. They said, we know that Al-Qaeda was completely torn down, okay? Al-Qaeda was done for. All of a sudden, they magically reappeared, and they come back as this huge fighting force, called ISIS, and they're growing on a daily basis and blah, blah, blah. Well, after John Kerry and John McCain went over there and got them, reestablished and everything, then they brought up the green screens. They're always beheading people on green screens, and then, they look like they're 7 feet tall in some of the videos, and then, they brought up a lot of good points, all pointing back to who created ISIS and what is the real meaning behind it. And we all know that the government is the ones that funded them, the ones that got them back on their feet again. I said feet. Oh, my God. Got them back on their feet again and, got them reestablished and got them to the point to where they are now. Now, is it something that the government still has a hold of And, you know, I mean, look at how many videos we've seen of them driving brand new vehicles. And look at how many videos we've seen of them just, they just happen to fall upon wherever we dropped all of the all of the weapons and all of the bullets and everything, and where we dropped food. Oh, hey, they just happen to fall upon, $10 million of our money, somehow, and this and that. I mean, it all points to our government, got them started. I would like to say that I think that the reason why they did it was a scare tactic to try to get Obama's plan to go into place, for them to get our guns and then try to do the whole martial law thing. Martial law is never going to happen in the United States the way that they want it to. Okay? Now, somebody brought up a very, very good, like the guy very much. I watch a lot of his videos just so at the end sometimes I can leave a message how I feel about the video. He said, you got to go back to, when that big, one of the big storms hit Louisiana, okay, Katrina, and they put all the people into the Superdome and whatever. And then he pointed out another time where something happened in a place, and they had to bring in all of this different police departments from all over the place just to contain one little area, okay? And he brought up a very good point and said, how are they going to impose martial law? They don't have enough police. They don't have enough military to be able to impose martial law on all the people. And I responded like this. There's only 3% of the people that are willing to stand up for the government. 97% of the people will be the people that will walk with the government wherever the hell they say that it's time to walk to, because they're the ones that expect the handouts, the free phones, the free food, the free money, blah, 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 and security. They go to their government for security because they're not willing to stand up for themselves to fight against an enemy, foreign and domestic. Okay? Only 3% of our population is willing to do that. With that being said, the other 97%, if Obama said, these people are bad people, we need you to stand up to them, we need you to become the military force that he has been talking about all along, besides the United States military, he keeps saying that we need a military of the people. If it ever came to that point and he voiced his opinion and said, I need you people to stand up to these people, we lose. And the reason why we lose is because they will help them out, and 3% of us can't fight 97% and fight the military and fight the police and everything else, because we will lose.
That's the truth, Bobby. As a Texas nationalist, and I'm not as vocal as Becky can be, but that is the reason that we strive for Texas sovereignty. It isn't just that we're a bunch of arrogant assholes, okay? We have a militia. We have a strong militia. If we have a catastrophe like that down here, the militias will be called up, and the Guard, people like that, and hopefully we can secure America by securing Texas. That's what it's all about with us. If we can secure Texas, and then people in Chicago look down and say, wait a minute, their buildings aren't burning. They're not rioting. They're not doing this. And we can say, and we can show you how. We can show you how. Because we love America. We really do. Like I say in the articles all the time, if we declare for republic when this thing comes apart, we're not going to rewrite the Constitution. We're just going to use the one out of Philadelphia. They're not using it right now. You know, we love the Constitution. We love what the founding fathers in Philadelphia did. We believe in all that. You know, it's just. But you're right. You're right. But now there's only 3% stood up in the Revolutionary War too. But we got this huge entitled population. Huge. Obama phones, Obamacare, the government's going to help me. They're going to bail me out. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. And they don't understand. They don't understand their own history. I have actually heard people on the news when asked for MLK Day, what was Martin Luther King's main accomplishment in his life? And I heard a woman say he freed the slaves. Now, what? Freaking new baby's 5 years old. He knows more than that.
Well, you know what? I'm so sick of these people that do not know their history and they act like they're standing up for something. Okay, this is not a knock. This is not a racial thing or anything else.
No.
Because I'm far from racist. I'm just so sick of people and, standing up and talking about, oh, you enslaved us and this and that. Please know what you're talking about. You were actually owned by your own people. That's how the whole thing started. Blacks owned blacks as slaves. That's how the whole thing started. And then when they started going on to other countries and stuff like that, because they were being brought there, they were being sold to other people. But, originally how it started was the rich blacks were the ones that owned the blacks and started the whole slaves.
Well, I'm not going to read the whole article or anything. I'll give you some high points. I actually did an article right before the Garland thing about if the South would have won, we'd have had it made. And in the article, I
read it.
Yeah, okay, you know what I'm saying? And what if Lincoln had not got his war? The Confederacy had been allowed to exist and go on. Do you think we wouldn't have sold a steak to people in Chicago? Do you honestly think we wouldn't have used American dollars when we could? The cotton wouldn't have went straight to the port of New York and then over to England? And later on we just had, you read the article, it's just, we'd have been left alone. It wasn't about slavery. Slavery would have evolved out. Western culture was going away from it. It was barbaric. Only about 1% of Southerners even owned slaves. The white folk were pissed off about it because we couldn't get no jobs in agriculture because of it, So it would have been phased out. Nobody in the North wanted to go to war against the South. We said, and if we had won the war, say if the war had stopped, we didn't have the capability to invade the North and take it over. We just didn't have it. It would have been, okay, the war is over. What are y'all going to do with us? Just leave us alone, man. We're going to send cattle up to Chicago. We're going to send cotton to New York. Y'all just leave us alone. We'll work this out. And that's what would have happened. And black people get all bent out of shape over slavery. Okay. But then you got black Muslims. Now, there's an oxymoron. If that's not an oxymoron, I'm not a white boy from Boston. I'm a black Muslim. Okay.
Why
don't you go to Libya and ask them?
Do you have any idea how many white kids are in black gangs?
Oh, yeah. My own son.
You talk about an oxymoron.
My own son. He's doing county jail time right now. But he comes over to the house and has his pants down to his knees. I took him to breakfast. I know he likes chicken fried steak and eggs. That's something we eat down here. I said, order whatever you want. He ordered a slice of watermelon. And I told him, you're only doing that to be seen. You're only doing that to be seen. A slice of watermelon. Give me a break. And there are good, respectable black people. John David Manning, Ben Carson, Apostle Clay Amadamadi, Antoine Wesley out in I can go on and on. Kent Franks in Philadelphia. Very, very, very vocal, intelligent black people, okay? But they're not listening to them. They're listening to Obama phone. Give me some more wealth. And that's not going to save them. They cannot understand. That is not going to save you. It's just not going to do it. And in fact, I did an article yesterday. Did you read Blue-Eyed White Boy?
Yes, I read them all.
Okay.
Anytime you post them, I read them.
I said just like it was. We're a dying race. We're Blue-Eyed White Boys are only about. Okay. And we're
but you know what, Wilbur? I'm so sick of the term. I'm so sick of that it's always got to be a race issue. Everybody, race. I am so sick of that. It's like, can we get away from that anytime and move on? You know, I mean, why do we always got to play the race card? Just like, here, take for instance, all these guys jumping on these damn flags, and I'm going to tell you right now, don't ever let it happen in front of me.
Oh, no.
Because I'm sick and tired of seeing all these assholes stepping and jumping on our flags and walking on our flags and, you know, not knowing the history of all people having to fight and stand up for that flag at some time, one time or another. You wouldn't have all those free handouts of cell phones and, you know, the Obama phone and free food and, you know, all these government-funded things that you're getting if it wasn't for that damn flag. But I'm sick of it being a race issue, and I'm sick of these people walking on the flag and stepping on the flag and going, oh, you know, I'm going to do this because this and that. Well, why are you stepping on it? Well, they can't even give you a good reason. The only reason why they say is because of that Eric, whatever the hell his name is, the kid that they said was a terrorist. And, you know, when that whole thing happened with Michelle Manhart, when she came on the show to talk about it at that university, and she's the one that went and picked up the flag and said, I'm not going to allow you to step on, you know, something that I hold near and dear to my heart. And she, you know, she was the only one to step up and say, here, I'm taking this thing back, blah, blah, blah. But it always leads back to being a race issue because, they're always showing videos of black people doing it. Well, that's not really the truth because today in Irvine, California, at Irvine University, it was mostly Oriental people, and then they had, I think they were like Indonesians or something like that were stepping on the flag.
I've been to Irvine. I've been to that university when my granddaughter played soccer. And I've been to that university, and I've seen exactly what you're talking about, and it's mainly Asians. You know, it's just people get into a clique. Sometimes they don't even know why they're doing it, but they get into a clique. And they say, well, everybody else is doing it. It's cool. This is what we'll do and everything. And they don't understand what it took to build this country. They don't understand. They also don't understand all these little liberal libtards out there running around in California and everything, and they don't understand there are mean people in the world who want to take everything away from you, including your right to swim naked with your girlfriend in the ocean and drink wine. Do that in front of a Muslim and see how it works out for you. Okay? And you gay people out there, oh, yeah. Go ahead. Let them Muslims come on over the border. Let them take over. They will hang you. They will hang you. We don't hang you. Texas just says you can't get married. We're not hanging you. You know, we make jokes about you. We don't give a damn if you're gay. Just don't be gay in the street. Stupid. You know, and I've got another, like, get me started. Somebody accused me one time at a meeting. Gay sex disgusts you. And I said, no, it doesn't. All sex disgusts me unless I'm the one doing the sexing, dumbass. I don't get into pornography. I don't advertise my private life. You know, that's the most ridiculous thing in the world. It's just, these kids don't understand. They don't understand they stand to lose, and it's people like us that keep waving that flag and telling them. You know, but what will happen if the country comes apart, they'll have to fight to get it back again, and then we'll have another 200 years of a pretty good America. But we're going to lose a lot of good Americans to get it back. You know, Bobby, I'll tell you the truth. The way these idiots are going now, up there where you're at, these idiots we got running around with their pants sagging and their attitudes and everything, I never thought Al Capone would look good.
And you know what? A lot of people don't understand the whole Al Capone story. And, you know, they're, he was a gangster and he did this and did that, all these bad things and this and that. They couldn't be any further from the truth. To be honest with you, Al Capone is the one that got unions started. Al Capone is the one that helped people organize and get things organized, and he helped people to make real money in this world. You know what I mean? Al Capone wasn't, you know, as bad as everybody says that he was. Of course he was bad to his enemies and stuff. I'm sorry for the noise in the background. I'm just getting in my car. But but he was the one that helped people, get organized and, and help people get, things figured out in this world, and help them, create unions and, jobs and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not saying that he was a good guy, but he wasn't this super bad guy that everybody thought that he was. If you ever watch Boardwalk Empire, I think that would probably be a pretty close dramatization onto what Al Capone really was. Now, I have all these books and DVDs. Well, not so many books. Now, not as many books as I would say DVDs, but I have a ton of DVDs that's on organized crime and the mob and mafias and stuff like that. And I used to watch them a lot and learn a lot of things. And see, that's another thing that my wife likes. Not those type of shows, but she likes to watch shows where we actually learn something. Where they talk about something about Earth and something about history and, maybe about dinosaurs and stuff. But Al Capone, of course, that's what Chicago's best known for. But people, I don't think, really know the true story of Al Capone.
No, not only that. You got to look at his moral standpoint. Give me a second, Bob. Let me put this thing up.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you sound very muffled, or you sound like you're gone, or...
No, I was opening a beer.
Okay.
So I got to take my blood pressure medicine. Anyway, no, Al, you got to look at his moral...
blood pressure medicine, that's a great combination.
Well, it's Texas, probably. Al was, number one, he was an Italian, okay? So let's look at his basic crime. We got stupid enough to declare prohibition, okay? Now, you got an Italian. He said, okay, they're saying you can't drink any more wine or beer. Oh, okay, that's stupid, so I'm going to start making wine and beer. Morally, he didn't think he's doing anything wrong at all, period. Now, with Bugsy Siegel and people like that he was against, well, if Al had been a preacher boy, they would have ate him alive. They would have ate him alive. And the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, do you not think that they wouldn't have put Al up against that wall? He just beat him to the point. And I'd like to quote, I've seen a quote from The Godfather yesterday. I was looking at some stuff, and the scene where Michael Corleone is walking with Kay in the park when he first comes back from Sicily, and he says, my father's no different than the other powerful men, like a senator or congressman. And she says, oh, come on, Michael, you're so naive. Senators and congressmen don't kill people. And he looks at her and says, no, Kay, now you're being naive. Now you're being naive.
Right.
And it's as simple as that. I've read those stories you said about Al helping unions and helping this and helping that, in soup kitchens during the Depression, where he fed people and people liked him. And look what they got him on. Income tax evasion.
Yeah, tax evasion.
Yeah.
Of all things, tax evasion.
Yeah.
Well, imagine what would have happened if they never got him on tax evasion. Imagine what the city would have been like for real then.
Yeah. I mean, so he beat his taxes a little bit. Hello, Al Sharpton. I hope you're listening.
Yeah.
Al Capone paid.
You know what? We shouldn't even mention his name with Al Capone's name because that's disrespect to Al Capone.
Yeah. I mean, Al paid for his sins. I don't think he honestly thought they could get him on something. I mean, that's stupid. That's stupid. It's just. I understand too. I've read a little bit on Al. I understand his factories were excellent beer makers. Actually, made a good grade of beer. And believe it or not, I had a fifth of whiskey from his era. It got drank because I'm in Texas, But I actually had a fifth of rye whiskey that he produced, down here. It was in the cabinet, and during a party, Jackie got it out and served it up like a dumbass, I still got the bottle. But
they have beers and alcohols and stuff here with his name on it. he still has family members, like his brother or no, not his. It couldn't have been his brother. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it could have been like a baby brother. I thought it was his brother, maybe his son or some kind of relative is still here and was running around with that Betty Lauren Maltese for a while in Cicero, Illinois, because that's pretty much where Al Capone was from, was Cicero, Illinois.
Yeah, he was he couldn't be mafia because he wasn't Sicilian. He couldn't actually be quote unquote mafia, and that's one reason he kind of migrated from his base over in New York over to Chicago, was because of that. Those guys, and something else too, something I really, the way the government works, they draw these enormous scenarios of these huge mafia families and all this kind of stuff, and I'll almost guarantee you half the time the Italians are looking and saying, "What the fuck? Hey, that's a good idea. Let's do that." Because they weren't that organized. They may have had their 5 families in New York and everything, all that, but until they had to learn organization from the government. You always
they're all family orientated. Most of the guys that I've ever met and known and ever, had, like, I used to work for a guy. I'm not going to name drop because, but I used to work for a guy that was a mafia person, and he owned a cell phone company and a pager company here in Chicago. And I was actually a bouncer at a bar for a while, and then I was a DJ also at the same club. And a guy that worked for him, I started hanging out with the guy, and he got me a pager. Because he came in with a briefcase, and he had like a ton of pagers with, pager numbers already on them and everything, and you gave them so much down, and then you could have a pager and whatever. So I actually started hanging around with this kid. So then one day we went into the pager shop, and he introduced me to the guy, and the guy said to me, he goes, you looking for any type of work? And I said, yeah. I go, I'm looking for a job. And he's like, well, I need people to work here in the store, people to work behind the counter, and then I need people, when people don't get a chance to come in and pay their bills, I need somebody that can actually go get it and bring it here so they can pay their bill. Well, it didn't dawn on me that he wanted people to go out and pretty much collect money, from people that actually owed him, and stuff like that. And I remember, I really had no clue at the time that I was really going out, to collect money for other things or whatever, and, and going to people's houses and, kids and stuff like that, going to collect the money and just seeing their faces like, like I'm here to pick up Louie's money. Oh, no problem, no problem, no problem. And, it dawned on me, not too far into it that, we're not actually going to pick up people's money for pagers. We're going out to pick up money that people owe this guy for gambling or something. And he was as nice as pie. He was as nice as pie to me.
Well, it's just like I worked for, when I was in Nashville, I was trying to get a record out and doing all this stuff. And there was 2 guys, Ralph and Larry Paradiso. They called themselves the Paradise Brothers. And they had went government witness from Don Dumbass over there in New York or something, and they relocated them in Nashville, okay? They had a guy called Joel Thacker who worked with them as like you, as a collector. And he wore a suit and all that. And he came to me one day because Larry had heard my gag album. And he asked me, said, do you have distribution on that thing? And I said, no, I'm working on it. Roy Acuff is pretty well blacklisted me, and I'm kind of down right now trying to work it. He said, well, Ralph and Larry want to meet with you. And so I went and met with them and everything, and they were like you said, they were nice and everything. And they were mob. They were mob. They were instituting the first rap singers coming out of Nashville and everything. And they were going to help me produce, put this thing out. And believe it or not, they wanted 92%. Okay? And I nodded my head, and when I walked out with Joel, he said, that doesn't bother you? I said, what? The 92%. Joel, I'm selling no records. None. If you can generate million sales, I'll take 8% to get the first one off the ground. The only thing that happened to the deal was they actually had a hit rap record with a guy named Pistol, and the Don they had fingered, found them. There they are, and they had to move them overnight. I went over to see Ralph the next day, and it was an empty building, that kind of stuff. So the deal never gelled. Of course, iTunes came along, and I went that route, but I missed that deal, and I was still would have gone with it because, like I said, 8% of nothing or 100% of nothing is a lot less than 8% of millions of sales, and they were lining up truck stops. We're going to put your CD at every truck stop in the country and everything. Are you cool with this? You like this? Yeah, I like this. Damn straight. How many records you want? But I didn't have any qualms with that. I didn't have any qualms at all about working with them. I didn't get involved with anything. We worked with the Eagles. The Eagles got with Travis Tritt and cut a commemorative album, the Eagles stuff, out in Berry Hill near Nashville. We bought a little building and we reconstructed it into a studio and all this kind of stuff. And the Eagles a couple of the Eagles, Don Henley and Mother flew in, and Travis met with them there and all that kind of stuff. And John Brett, little side story. Now, this is where the Mafia part come out. The Mafia part. Larry met with me and John Brandt, who's Jackie's dad. He was building the studio. And he comes up there and he says, hey, man, I'm short now. I'm doing this. I'm getting some cash. How much you need? I need $20,000. So the next day would come up, and Ralph had $20,000 in a briefcase, real polite there. This, you want to count it. And right before he walked out, and you're from Chicago, you'll love this. He goes, hey, John, yeah, don't you fuck me now. You do that to me, I'm going to hang you out that window right over there, that one right there. And John was on point. I mean, he wouldn't order a gumball without accounting for it after that.
My mother used to know, I'm trying to remember what the guys' names are. There was two guys that were from Nashville. They used to work at Sun Records, and they were friends. I guess they were part of Elvis's band. And I think one was a drummer, and then the other one's name was Red something. Yeah. I can't remember their names, but my mother was actually friends with the guys from Sun Records because one of her friends was an Elvis impersonator, and he used to go there to Sun Studios all the time and used to go record music and, stuff like that. And he got in with, the Elvis people that were band members or whatever. And then my mother actually became friendly with one. And then I think the guy actually wanted to date my mother or something, and my mother was, married at the time, or she was dating somebody or whatever. But, yeah. I remember that type of stuff back then. But, a lot of people don't realize, I don't even know how we got on that discussion of mafia and stuff like that, but, a lot of people don't realize that, when you get down into, the Dixie area and stuff like that, there's mafia down there. Like the Dixie Mafia, they're very, very popular. I mean, just because, they're Southern boys and this and that, don't let that confuse you. I mean, don't let it fool you or confuse you because they're just as ruthless as the other ones.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, when I worked in Killeen, I was working in strip shows when I was younger, and there was a guy, he died, named Pat Anderson, and he was tied up with Norman down in Houston, and they had these little strip shows all up and down Interstate 35 and in Killeen here and everything like that, and they paid better than anybody else. Paid a lot more than minimum wage, took care of you. It was actually a good life. And it wasn't anything like the Goodfellas or anything like that. They kept their business pretty well quiet, but you were very aware that they were serious businessmen. You got a whole town full of GIs, and you got several buildings you own, and GIs like to watch girls dance naked. To my knowledge, I worked in the club, behind the scenes, with these people. I never saw any prostitution, not a bit. They would fleece those GIs for money, buying phony drinks for the girls and everything like that, but there was never anything that the police could come down on that were very, very, very upfront. They actually ran legitimate business. Now, it was unsavory business for the Bible Belt, but you got GIs, you know. You got guys coming back from Vietnam. They want to drink a beer and watch a girl dance without her clothes on the stage. That not the worst sin in the world. I mean, they're not really bringing down the country at all, you know. But you know, I don't know how we got on the mafia stuff. Oh, it was sagging pants. Yeah, that led us in sagging pants and mafia.
Yeah. That's something that annoys the crap out of me. These kids wearing these damn sagging drawers and pants and crap. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you people, man? You know, I mean, I know what they think it looks cool, you know, to have a load in your pants, you know, that you weren't able to make it to the bathroom in time and whatever. I mean, I'm not even going to lie. I think when it originally started about, 10, 12, 14 years ago, I think that, you know, I used to wear loose pants. I never let my underwear show. I never had my pants hanging all the way the hell down where you could just see my butt crack and all that stuff. I never did that. But I've never been a person that likes tight pants at all. Okay, tight clothes, they drive me nuts.
No, I can't.
You know,
I
like to wear the looser clothes. But, you know, these kids with these damn pants going all the way down and, you know, where their underwear, if they had crap stains in their underwear, you would know all about it because they show the whole damn thing, you know. It just drives me crazy to see these kids like this. You know, and I hate to say it, my stepson, he does it a lot, but he's not that bad because sometimes we just got to give him that look like, can you pull your damn pants up? And, you know, pretty much he does it. Then when he walks out of the room away from us, he pulls them back down again. And it's like, you know, I don't get it. I never did get it. Okay? I know a lot of people say, oh, it's from the penitentiary, and when somebody has their pants pulled down like that, that means that, you know, they're available and they're willing to give sex and this and that. And, all right, I don't know nothing about all that, you know, but I do know one thing. I know it looks pretty damn stupid, and it's very, very old. I mean, people have been doing that for, you know, probably 15 years. And, I mean, if this was 15 years ago and it was something fresh and new, I understand. But, you know, to keep doing it does not make a damn bit of sense to me whatsoever.
Well, the whole thing, when it started, it was like just below the belt line, you know, a little bit lower, a little bit. And I have actually seen people with their belts tightened just above their knees. And I'm thinking, that's not practical. That's not practical. It isn't like when people used to put sunglasses on the back of their head, or turn the hat backwards, or sideways, or a comb stuck in your hair. So, you know, little stuff like that. But
explain this one to me, Wilbur. The ones that wear the skin-tight pants, okay? They're wearing the skinny jeans, but the skinny jeans are pulled down to below their butt. And then when they walk, it's like they can't hardly even move their legs because of the way that the pants are on them, okay? And when they do walk, it's just, oh, my God, it doesn't look right at all. You know, it's just these skinny jeans that are pulled down and, you know, their butt and whatever. And then we got the ones that the pants are so damn big, like you're talking about, where they're down thigh area or to almost their knees, that if you were to look at them, I'm trying to think of what the hell there was a thing that was going around on Facebook. It was like a picture of this kid standing there, you know, dressed like that, and then a cartoon or whatever that was the same damn picture, and it was like the cartoon was like a statement cartoon, and the kid looked exactly like the cartoon, but I can't remember what it is. I'm sure one of the listeners would know what I'm talking about.
It's just ridiculous. The pants thing, and get back to the racial thing, because that's what they always home in on. But it's not just black kids, it's white kids too, but they're always home in on the racial thing. But again, I say it's not practical. You can't when a kid turns his head around to the side, or you put sunglasses on the back of his head, or like that, or grew an afro or whatever. That didn't impede his life. That didn't make him struggle. That didn't make him struggle to walk into a convenience store. You know,
well, you know what? The kids here wear their hats to the side, and it's gang affiliation.
Yeah,
if they wear the hat to one side, it's one certain set of gangs. If they wear it to the other side, it's another set of gangs. You know, if they got a certain pant leg rolled a certain way, you know, or the other one or whatever. I mean, it all means something, and it's all gang affiliated.
So I can almost understand that.
My son Tyrese tried to pull that shit on me with that one leg up, one leg down. I said, you better pull it up, boy. I'll beat the shit right out of you right now. I ain't even playing with you. Don't try to pull that ghetto shit on me.
Well, Becky, you know, my grandkids, you know, they're all 8 and under. And kids, their pants drop down, they just drop down, you know. And one of the favorite things I'll say is, hey, you ain't no rap star. And they know exactly what that means. And pants come right back up.
Yeah, I don't let Tyrese pull that shit. I don't let him sag his pants. I tell him, sag your pants and let me see your boxers hanging out, boy. I'll buy you fucking bikini underwear. You fuck with me.
You know what I'd like to tell him?
Yeah, Denise hates that too. Denise hates it with a passion.
What I'd like to tell him, and I may try this one day, just when I see somebody with his pants down to his knees, and it's front and back, you know. You can't just have them up in the front and down the back. It's front and back. And why are you wearing your pants down by okay. You know what, man, look, turn around here. Let me see. You know what I can see right now? Not this should blow your butt. Turn around here. Dude, you ain't got no package, man.
Yeah. Hey, I don't hesitate
or what's the package? What you ain't got up front?
I don't hesitate to tell them in public. I don't want to see your shit. Pull your drawers up. You disrespectful little piece of shit. I tell them. I'm mean like that. I'm just mean like that. I'm just mean enough to dare them to jump.
Man,
I don't want my
Denise is the same way.
Looking at that, walking through the mall. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I love
complete
Becky's
disrespect.
attitude. I love Becky's attitude, Bobby. I really do. I wish I'd met her 5 lives ago.
I am the bitch their mom didn't warn them about, and I can back it up. Better pull a gun.
I read something yesterday. It said women are angels. They're born with wings. But when a man breaks your wings, they just learn to ride a broomstick. Women are adaptable like that.
Oh, I ride 2 broomsticks. I'm double barrel bitch. I ain't even playing.
Bobby, you know she looks like Farrah Fawcett.
I don't put up with it, man. I just don't. Listen, our kids today are so disrespectful. They really are, for the most part. I just don't tolerate it. Listen, first of all, Tyrese is black. He's British, but he's black, okay? And he lost his accent because he didn't like the attention. He's been here 8 years. And I do not let him pull ghetto swing on me anywhere, any time of the day. Now, his sister's baby daddy, who's antisocial, is always running around with his drawers hanging down. I tell him in a heartbeat, pull your pants up, boy. Don't do that shit in front of her mother. Pull your damn pants up when you're around us. If you don't like that, don't come. Because I'm just that kind of bitch.
That'll do it.
So you were saying I look like what, Wilbur?
No, I said Becky looked like, I've seen Becky's picture of one of her profiles, and she's a dead ringer for Farrah Fawcett in her younger days.
Yeah, but
I know. I've seen her picture. I think I know what Becky looks like more than probably 80% of her Facebook page.
Oh, yeah, I'm hot. I'm still hot. I'm a cougar. I'm not saber-toothed yet because I have more than 2 teeth.
I just discovered, by the way, I put this up on a joke the other. I discovered that I like cougars. I came to it was like an epiphany, you know. I always tried to figure out why I couldn't get along with Frenchie. I mean, she had everything beautiful, 21 years old, all that kind of stuff. But we don't fight, but just nothing clicks. Nothing clicks. I like women over 40. I never realized that. I'm really attracted to women over 40 years old. Because they talk better, they act better, they got more sense, and all that kind of stuff. And I just never realized that. I guess I'm getting old. I guess I'm just getting old.
Nah, you ain't getting old, honey. You just know that we are the cream of the crop. Oh, yeah.
You're a little scary. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you some Jewish wisdom. A rabbi told me one time. You know how you know you're over the hill, Bobby? You're over the hill when you can marry a girl that wasn't born the day you got your first divorce.
Oh, hell. Listen, I went to prom with Dave Lincoln.
That Jewish person was probably a lawyer, wasn't he?
I had this old rabbi hang around. He told me stuff like that all the time.
Hey, guys, I'd love to hang out and chat, but my dinner reservation is just about to come to fruition. I just got all my shopping done. I hated to leave y'all solo, but Bobby knew I had a birthday today for a very special lady.
Yeah, I didn't want to be on
MS. Yeah, she has MS and lupus, and she's 40 years old today. So I've got her kids coming up here, and I'm going to treat her to some badass Chicago-style Gino Z's pizza that just opened up in Arlington. We're gonna chat down on.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. If they have a true person from Chicago making the pizza there, you are gonna love it. Gino Z's is a very good one. Make sure you have the stuffed pizza. That's what they're known for. Stuffed pizza.
I love you guys. You know you're my heart. God bless America. You people out there, I do believe, and I'm just going to wrap it up like this, Bobby. We have Memorial Day coming up. They know what the significance of that is. And when I say they, we're talking about Islam. They know what that means to America. And I would suggest that on that day we may see an incident. I may or may not be correct, but if they're going to hit, what a better day than do it than then as opposed to 911, which is, months down the line. So you people out there, my listeners, I love you with all my heart. Please forgive my foul language. It just gets like this Tourette syndrome, man. When I start getting irritated about the situation, I just go full retard. But anyway, I love you, each and every one of you. Please be mindful. Be very diligent about keeping your eyes peeled. Watch your surroundings. Leave yourself a way out. If you're a concealed carry individual, do not leave home without it. Just like your credit cards, keep it on your person. You never know when you're going to need it.
All right, awesome. Well, we're for Memorial Day. We're going to be going to a vigil, and we're going to go see the changing of the guard, and we're going to go out there when they, do the whole candlelight thing and the whole works. And I think I may be doing some video from there that I'm going to put on the Rage YouTube page, and then I may broadcast from out there, or, maybe not live broadcast, but have Denise and I do some stuff from out there, and then we'll let it go from a later date. But, I'm actually fighting rush hour traffic. It's bumper to bumper, and it's pouring rain out here, and I'm not going to be home anytime soon, which is going to be bad news, because I got everybody at the house wanting to go to dinner also. So, but I appreciate you joining me, Wilbur, and Becky. You have fun with your dinner party, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Thank you, brother.
And you guys enjoy it. You deserve it, and everything else. And we said that we were only going to give you a short show today, and hopefully we made it entertaining enough to keep your ears glued to the radio while we were doing it. So,
okay, well, Bobby, good talking to you guys. I'm going to go in here and bratwurst and open another beer, and y'all have a wonderful day.
God bless you, brother. Y'all stay safe. All right, Bobby, you want me to do the outro, brother?
Yeah, all righty. Good night, everybody. Have a good weekend.
All right. God bless you, brother. Be safe. All right, folks. This is Becky Williams with Rage Against the Regime podcast. I may or may not do the show tomorrow. Keep your ears peeled and your eyes peeled. You never know what's around the corner. If we have any breaking news, I will definitely be all over it. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Wilbur. God bless each and every one of you. And as I said, remain vigilant. Keep your eyes peeled. Know what your surroundings are. And until next time, this is Becky Williams with Rage Against the Regime podcast.